Hello, folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Bend Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and as always, you know we love hearing from all of you. Your comments, your stories, your ideas. You can get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. And by the way, those of you that have been reaching out, I greatly appreciate it. It has been so much fun. Sitting right beside me, though, as always, is my producer, sound engineer, co-host, and birthday boy, Jeff Tigger Erhardt.
Don't sing.
Why?
I'm just saying.
Why? Is my singing that bad?
I love you.
Ouch. That hurt. That cut me deep.
I'm just saying.
Cut me deep, man. But I will say, okay, we have been talking about this earlier in the year with this being a milestone birthday. We're not going to say what age, but it is a milestone. So in my opinion, that means you get to celebrate all year long when this happens.
Yep.
Now your eyes have been
How
set
come I
on...
haven't been celebrating up to this birthday if I get to go all year long?
Because...
Did I miss like 2 months of
no, because how it works in my world, you like that in Beck's world, is that it starts like at your birthday and then for the rest of that year.
Fiscal year.
Just be glad your birthday wasn't on Christmas and you got like 5 days to celebrate it,
right?
Okay? All right, your eyes before have been on alligator hunting. Are you still focused on that?
I don't know. I got to do more digging on this because we talked about it, and non-resident gator hunting in Florida, which is kind of the top spot in, August, September, October. That is, what did I say, 1,022?
I know right? It's over 1,000 for the tag alone.
Non-resident alligator tag in Florida costs $1,022 and includes an alligator trapping license and 2 cities tags. I don't know what that is. So then I looked at Louisiana because we have some friends in Louisiana that said, if you want to go gator hunting, get a hold of us. Now, gator hunting, non-resident tags in Louisiana cost $150.
But I know Louisiana has other stipulations. It might sound cheap, but what is the other part of it?
Hold on. I'm reading this here. Alligator tags are free for private land, but non-residents who don't own land can only hunt for sport with a guide.
Exactly. Aha. That's where Louisiana makes up the differences. They've really made a business out of this. You can get the gator tag really cheap, but you can't hunt for one non-resident if you don't own any land without a guide.
Casey is a guide that we saw in Denver. Our friend Casey, that he was saying, get a hold of me.
Does he have land, though?
I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping
it doesn't matter. I mean, if he's got land, he can go, but
he's a good friend. Why would he charge us?
Well, because that's the rules, Beck.
No, it doesn't say that you have to pay for a guide. So now I'm going to be looking for all of our friends in Louisiana.
I'm going to text Casey
to take Tigger and I gator hunting this fall. I'm just throwing that out there. If any of you are listening and you're like, you know what, I would love to have some time with Tigger and Beck, send us a shout. Okay, let us know.
But I'm going to just stretch on that a little bit because when we talked about this, in all seriousness, you asked me, do you want the hide and the meat? And I said, well, yes, absolutely, of course. But then it is, what are we going to do about the taxidermy? And really, we need to bring Jake on the show because
Jake Fenrick is who he's talking about.
Because that's who does our deer for us. Fabulous job, by the way, JB's Wildlife Designs. He'd never done a gator before. And he said, I'd love to do a gator for you, but you have 2 options. You can do with just the head with the mouth open. Some people put a bottle of whiskey in there or something like that. He said, or what most people do is they mount the whole gator, and he's elevated so that he's like sliding in the water. Does that make sense? So you'd put him up against a wall that
in a corner or something.
Yeah, that he's like sliding down into the water. Yeah. So what are we going to do with this thing? I mean, if we would get one, where would we put this thing? We don't have room for nothing in this
Does that
place.
mean that Beck gets a new cabin? Because we are outgrowing this current cabin anyway. I'm just wondering. Or is this where then we go and we ask both of our mothers and say, so I know you've always wanted an alligator in your house, right?
Your mom would be okay with it. I think
my mom would.
My mom would Yeah, she would absolutely.
But
Joey
your dad would
put
be okay.
My dad would think
Your-
that's about the coolest thing in the world.
Your dad would say, "Bring that gator over here."
My mom would be would be out. But here's where actually, in all seriousness, we do need to hear from some listeners in the South that have any kind of experience in this because, you know, let's just call a spade a spade. We're going in August, September. It's hot. We're in the swamp. Beck, you are no lover of snakes. It's not gonna be like we're wading through the swamp with a big Rambo knife.
I'm going on one of those fan boats, aren't I?
I'm assuming that's what we're on, is one of those, or just a small little John boat or something. But I would like to know more about what is involved with gator hunting because we have very few friends that have gone. Well, I would
actually like to know a lot more because yes, when it comes to big game hunting, know a lot right there. It can be dangerous, but when it comes to alligator hunting, you're absolutely right.
A little bit more exotic.
Exotic, you're right. We are novices and we're not afraid to say that. And this kind of ties into what we're going to be talking about later in the show too. So any of you listeners that are down south, please reach out, help us out, give us the ins, the tips, and let us know what we should be looking for.
Give that phone number again in the email so they can reach out to us.
Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363 or email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Talking about hunting, and I mentioned big game hunting, by the way. For those of you that are wanting to head to Montana, the lottery is now open for the non-resident licenses. Just to kind of get you an idea, the general deer combination is going to cost you $744.
Hello.
And the general elk combination is going to be $1,078.
Is that what you're putting in for again?
And then, yes, I'm going to go with the general elk combination. And then otherwise, there is the general elk game, which includes deer and elk, and that's going to set you back $1,278. And for applying, again, this is non-resident times. It opened up back on March 1st, but the deadline is April 1st at midnight Mountain Time. So make sure if you're thinking about heading to Montana, or
Call
you are
us
serious,
first, we want to go with you.
Get those applications in, and may the odds forever be in your favor.
Oh, I like what you did with the Hunger Games right there.
All right, we're going to take a short break. You're listening to The Ben Show.
The hunt, the stories, the memories. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Let me capture and preserve that hunt, that story, that memory with a trophy mount to last you a lifetime. Look us up on Facebook at JB's Wildlife Designs to see samples of our taxidermy and reach out at any time with any and all questions you may have. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Taxidermy is my passion. Let me preserve yours.
The hunt is planned, the guide is booked, the trip is blocked off in the calendar, but one huge detail remains, preserving that trophy, creating a memory that will last a lifetime. Little Rack Taxidermy has that fast, friendly service to fulfill your taxidermy in a timely, professional manner. Reach out to Heather with Little Rack Taxidermy through Facebook at Little Rack Taxidermy or send an email to heatherjoe23@hotmail.com. Little Rack Taxidermy, bringing back the natural look.
Shooting ducks, skinning bucks, I'm a hunting princess in a pickup truck.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and right along shotgun is Jeff Tigger Erhardt.
Gator Slayer.
Yeah, right. You're hoping. You're hoping, but as we just said a few minutes ago, is that we are inexperienced when it comes to alligator hunting. We've done the big game hunting, and we've done a lot of upland game bird hunting, but Now we're flipping gears and going to go gator hunting. And that's why we weren't afraid to say we're novices when it comes to hunting this species. It's exotic. It's something we will not find where we are located. So we're we're asking for some tips. And hopefully you guys let us know. That number again, call or text 305-900-2363, or you can email bendradioshow@gmail.com. But in regards to that, there's reasons why we're asking for help. And that is because it is okay, I'm going to tell you right now, to stand back and say, I've never hunted that. I've never handled any new hobby you're going to do. We're kind of diving down this rabbit hole. Why? Because if you don't learn about what you're going to go do before you go do it, your odds how do I put this?
In your favor.
Exactly. You know, when I was back in the day, my dad used to do a lot of pheasant upland bird guiding, and I would help him. And we actually had some men come out from the East Coast, and my dad is very big on firearms, fire safety. He was an instructor for over 25 years. And we were there, unloaded out of the Suburban. Everybody's getting their shotguns and such. And we had a close call where one individual here, we realized he had put a shotgun away still loaded. And we're talking it was a pump and one was in the chamber. Thankfully, he was goofing around. He pulled it out and then did a dry fire in the air and it went off. As you can imagine, my dad, myself, all of us hit the ground going, what in the world? Thank goodness he did not have it pointed at somebody. It could have went south fast, right? Well, recently in Facebook world, there was a gal that shared her own story.
This was Instagram, actually.
Oh, Instagram.
Yeah, this was Instagram where I found this.
Oh,
you want me
okay.
just to go and share this?
Why don't you? Because I read it on Facebook, so you share it.
Oh, was it on Facebook too?
Yeah, I think she shared it to both.
Okay. The person is Christy Carlson Romono, and I'm just going to read this. This was about a month ago. Here's what she said. Yesterday was my husband's birthday, and I took him to shoot clay pigeons as a present. There was another party with us, and they were unsafely firing in the wrong direction and ultimately shot her in the face. Now, I know things happen and people get peppered and stuff like that, but she was hit in 5 places, and it's incredible. She's got the videos on here of her getting shot. Now, let me just kind of fast forward a few days when she went to go see her doctor. This is where it took a turn for really, really serious. She says it was a miracle. The shot was less than 1 millimeter from permanently blinding her. I have had this happen to a very good friend of mine that he got shot at point blank range with a shotgun. Same situation. He still has the pellets embedded in his head. They could not go in and remove them. He's doing fine. He has all of his sight. He didn't go blind or anything like that. But it is something that he has to monitor very, very, very closely going forward.
Well, I'm sure if you'd hit his head, if something would move.
Exactly right. Now, when you were talking about your dad and being a guide, I know this, that every single guide that I know, they go through a little bit of firearm safety first. Always go through that. Even though a lot of us are experienced hunters, they still go through that regardless. In fact, I know in some states, it's a requirement that prior to hunting on someone's property, they actually have to sign off that they had firearm training at that facility that went through, the do's and don'ts and just reminders.
Well, and I will say after that case happened where that individual dry fired and here it went off, the shotgun went off, my dad, after that point forward, he always checked every shotgun before it got put away in the vehicle to move to the next location. There was just no area for a chance to happen. We'll put it that way.
Again, if you want to follow Beck, you're going to have the links available in the show notes for this episode, right?
Yes, head to thebendshow.com and I will have it embedded there so that you can check out this gal
you got to read
follow
her
story.
Yeah, this is kind of incredible, but miracles never cease, actually. I was just reading here, she had one in her skull that actually moved around a little bit. But there's another one in there that they couldn't remove, but she is recovering. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And we'll continue to keep her in our thoughts. But on that note, this almost to me brings up a great topic, and that is new hobbies, taking up even hobbies that aren't really new, but you're going into different areas like we are with thinking about gator hunting. Now is the time. Think about it. It is a preparation when you go on any adventure that requires hunting or new skills. It doesn't matter if you're doing something that involves firearms, to archery, to photography. It all takes
another one
practice.
for you. We fly fish every single year, and before the spring season, when we go out fishing, we take our fly rods out into the yard, and both of us, even though I'm a very seasoned fly fisherman, we practice casting because sometimes you get a little bit rusty of how to cast and build your line and all that, and you think about that little hook, right? That little fly that's on the end of your fly line and that zinging by right by your face, literally.
That's exactly right. We do. We practice. I'm not a seasoned fly fisherman. I'm not afraid to say that. I prefer even fishing just for my kayak. But every year I have to go through a mental checklist because I don't have it down yet to have it just be off of memory, anymore.
Muscle memory.
Memory.
I still practice.
So we always practice a little bit out in our yard before we go out. And that's same with those that are in archery. If you visit with those in archery, especially those that go and on these really large hunts and such, those guys and gals, they are practicing. They don't wait till season opener to finally pick up their bow and dust it off and look for their arrows. No, they've been practicing most likely for a couple of weeks already, if not more.
And there's some people that can just pick that up, and they've been doing it for their lifetime, and they can.
That's true.
I can't.
That's true. There are some that are like that. But what I'm encouraging everybody is, if you know you are going on an adventure and it doesn't matter what it is, to start getting excited now. Let the excitement build, but in that means being smart and practicing or seeking out outside help to learn even further. For example, what I've found in life, let's use horseback riding. I come across a lot of women that want their husbands to ride with them, let's say if they're not on a farm or a ranch. But the guys are like, you know how it is to learn something from your spouse? It doesn't always go so well. Let's be real.
It just doesn't work.
And years back, I don't do this anymore, but years back, I actually had a little business where I would get hired to come and give these guys a lesson using their own horses. And then that way, when the wives all got together, everybody kind of at least understood the basic principles. And it was so much easier to learn that new hobby. Does that make sense? Kind of like that.
I'm following you.
So I'm saying no different. If you're doing photography, if you're doing hunting, things like that, check out the local stores. Look at the local organizations. I bet you will find tons of people that are happy to quick help you get your feet wet.
Pull and then gear out.
Before you know it, you will be off to the races.
We even do the same thing prepping before rodeos. Been doing rodeos for how many years? Every single time before we do a rodeo, it's practice and prep and make sure gear is working and all of that. We just don't, we've done this a million times and throw and go. We still do that all the time.
All right, we're going to take a short break right now. We've got more of The Ben Show right after this.
Watch RFDTV anytime, anywhere on all your connected devices with RFDTV Now. Simply go to watchrfdtv.com and sign up for just $9.99 a month, or save more and pay just $89.99 for the year. You can begin streaming RFDTV live right away and have access to your favorite shows 24/7 on demand. Go to watchrfdtv.com, sign up, and start streaming today.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
Is there that particular pair of boots or that shirt or pair of jeans that you just can't find anywhere else? Check out Medora Boot and Western Wear. Medora Boot and Western Wear is the go-to for boots, jeans, especially jackets, and even those hard-to-find accessories that make perfect gifts. Check out MedoraBoot.com, or better yet, give Kim a call at 701-623-1005 and tell Kim that Tigger and Beck sent you. For the latest in Western and outdoor practical and fashionable wear, there is only one, Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. Right along shotgun is Jeff Tigger Erhardt. Now, I do have to let you know I did hear from one of you, and I want to give a shout out to Curtis in Kansas. He did send an email after last week's show, Tigger, letting me know that he agrees with you. He agrees with you on the topic.
I have one.
On the topic of being prepared and packing for trips. You were saying that.
Amen, Curtis.
You were saying that, yes, you always pack everything, I swear. And how do I say this? This is exactly from the email that Curtis sent me. It said, it's always better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Amen, Brother Curtis.
That's what he says. That's always been his philosophy. I'm still disagreeing on
So
this.
does he tend to overpack like I do? Or he didn't really say. He's just more like me, that he likes to have a lot of stuff with him.
I think from what I understood in the email is that he essentially would rather have everything he could need than have to scurry around and try and pick it up elsewhere.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't want to do that when you're on vacation or going visiting someplace that, now you got to go to the drugstore. And
But
you
that
gotta
adds to
grab
the
this.
adventure.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It wastes
What
time.
happens if you don't use it? Then now you just took up valuable space and weight in that suitcase.
Beck, my first aid kit is the size of like 2 or 3 decks of cards. That's it.
Okay, but unless we're going to be somewhere that isn't going to have a...
Now, wait, when we go gator hunting, that's going to be a massive first aid
Okay,
kit.
that's the thing. All right, here's my deal. I will agree that you should pack more than what you need and a lot of that extra stuff if you're going backcountry, wilderness, you're going on an adventure, you're going hunting in a remote location. Yes, you can't drive anywhere to go anywhere and have it. You better have it with, right?
See?
But if you are going to say Las Vegas, I'm going to let you know there's like a CVS on every other corner.
Okay, I get that, but I don't think that's what Curtis was meaning necessarily. He was thinking that you're going to be a little bit more remote, so it's not going to be as convenient to go into the little CVS on any corner to be able to get what you may need.
Okay, but I will also say, if you're going to say you're going to go do the wine tastings and such in Michigan, along the Lake Michigan there, it's known for beautiful wineries and such. All right, I'm still going to tell you, there's a lot of little towns that have everything you need. And this is why I say you don't need to bring everything. You just need to think practically, is pack for always 3 seasons, no matter where you go.
Why are you arguing with me?
Because, guys, I've seen what you've sent me with on trips.
Okay,
and honey,
that's different though. I was packing all of your food and all that, and you told me that I needed to pack food for your nephews and this because they're going to be going into your little MREs that I put together for you.
yeah, but that's backcountry. I'm talking just going on a normal little.
Well, Curtis and I aren't talking about going on a normal little wine tasting thing in Michigan. We're talking about backcountry serious business, Beck.
All
Curtis,
right,
back me
fine.
up on this.
Fine, but I did find this interesting. For those of you wondering, what are the travel trends for 2025? This is what I have come across and figured out so far, is that people this year are really, really searching and wanting to do things like stargazing,
What?
the Aurora Borealis,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
the Northern Lights.
Sorry, I won't
For those
tease-
that
I
don't
won't
know what
tease.
those are. All right, they're seeking holiday romance, which I think is kind of funny, by the way. Right
What?
now that Valentine's Day is over, in case you didn't know, now is when everyone breaks up. Just letting you know. Nostalgia tourism.
What is that?
That is going to places that just take you back in time. Like,
like
you're going to go to like
cool history type stuff.
Yes, or go
I
to
love
like an
that
old 50s cafe and finding towns that are kind of quaint, make you walk back in time. Here's one I'd never heard of: sleep tourism. There is a whole industry right around getting you to sleep better. Like, you actually deprive yourself of social media. You put your phone down, no electronics. And it's all set up tourism around being quiet in the moment and getting lots of sleep. Tigger's looking at me like, I am not signing up for that.
That's kind of like people that they want to go and cuddle with a cow.
Or
right? And they've actually made
yoga.
money. They've made, or goat yoga or something like that. People make money on this deal, y'all. It's
I've got a
crazy.
friend the other year. She ended up having a sloth at her wedding.
What?
Yes.
What are you talking
Andrea
about?
did. She had a sloth at her wedding.
Why?
Because she thought they were really cool.
Because why wouldn't you have a sloth at your wedding?
And I've had other gals,
This is
you know,
so
the
random.
llama craze, having,
that was
wanting
dumb.
a llama at their wedding. So, yes, there is this whole idea that tourism now is around experiences. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that tourism is moving into, instead of just going somewhere and vegging out, that yes, you're wanting an experience, something to remember it by. There you have it.
Well, I don't think you need to go someplace for an experience of how to sleep.
Actually, I am going to disagree with you on that, because I hear every morning, I didn't sleep. And I listened to you. You were sleeping.
But I'm not going to go on vacation just to try to sleep. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go on a sleepcation or whatever you call it.
Okay, but would you go on a digital detox?
Absolutely. I think everybody would.
I think we're all ready for
Throw
that
the phones
one.
away.
All right, we're going to call this show wrapped for this week, folks. And as always, keep sending us in any questions you might have. If you have any field reports from your area, that number, call or text 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can email bendradioshow@gmail.com. And if you missed part of this show or you want to hear past episodes, you can find them all on our website, thebendshow.com. And as always, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me back all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram @The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Wanner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.